Hello everybody, my name is Cody Carls, and today I'm going to be talking about the story on how I met my girlfriend, Katrina. It all started on June 8th, 2012. Right now it is June 12th, 2012. So it only happened 4 days ago. She's my first girlfriend of all time, and I'm her first boyfriend of all time. So this is our first relationship for both of us, and it's a new experience, and I want to, since it fairly recently happened 4 days ago, and it's not much, so it's really, fresh in my mind, and I want to let it out in case anything happens. So if I get married or anything, I can look back upon this video right here, and it's the full story, since it's as recent as recent as it's gonna get for my mouth as far as what happened. I'm sure I'm gonna reiterate this story several times after this, only because it is a special story to tell, especially if things go right. But not only that, if things don't go right, it's also good to have this because, she's my first girlfriend, so it's good to have how it all started. So yeah, it happened 4 days ago in Washington, D.C. It was an 8th grade field trip, a curriculum-based for social studies field trip at the Washington, D.C. The monuments, memorials, and everything about it, the Civil War, and all this other stuff was part of the social studies curriculum, which is why I was going. Costing around $700, which was pretty expensive. They had to raise the price for several different reasons that I won't get into right now. But either way, it was soon going to be the best $700 that was almost ever spent on my life, if it wasn't the best as it is now. But like I said, it all depends on how things go from here. But it was the only reason why the $700 was going to be one of the best expenses ever spent on me was because of Katrina. So June 8th, 2012, we went to an Italian restaurant for dinner, and there wasn't really any seats available for me. By the time I got in there, I was one of the last ones in there, and most, if not all, the seats were taken besides the one I had to sit at. The waiter was basically like, here, come over here, sit here, and I'm like, oh, fine. I couldn't sit anywhere else. I didn't get to choose. He kind of just pushed me over and put me in a seat, which is all good because my friend Ari was there. Ari, short for Aristotle, that's his name. And he ended up getting hooked up that night too. But I think, well, we were all kind of forced into this relationship, which I'll get into. So, yeah, I think he was forced to sit there as well because besides me and him, there was 3 other females, and neither of us knew any of them, and they didn't know us. So, basically, the only person I knew at the table was Ari, and besides him, I didn't know them, they didn't know us, so they knew each other, though, but they didn't know us, and we didn't know them. So, it was all awkward. We didn't really talk at first for a couple minutes because, well, we didn't know each other, so, yeah, it's kind of a little awkward, but, I figured while I was there, why not make the best of it and actually, talk to them, and I kind of feel like they thought the same thing because, yeah, why make the best out of any situation, and I'm glad I did because it led into something amazing in my life, which I'll get into. But I started off by asking what high school she's going to. After this summer of 2012, we'll both be going to the same high school, Lakeview Technology Academy, here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. She said she's going to Lakeview, and I was like, oh, me too. And we started to talk from there, small talk. We started to talk about our opinions on immature students and how Lakeview's known for having better students and ones that, aren't immature and they actually want to learn. And we had some things in common that we shared, basically just about school, and yeah. So, small talk. And then after that, one of the girls asked Ari if they found Katrina attractive, if he found Katrina attractive, and he was like, yeah, she's okay, I guess. And yeah, I don't know why they were asking whether or not they thought we thought they were pretty. Maybe it's a girl thing, I don't know. But then I was asked if I found Katrina pretty, and I said, sure. I didn't really know what to say. I was a little nervous since I barely have any experience with girls, and I didn't know what she would say if I actually, told her how I felt. But either way, I just said sure. because I was nervous, and mainly because any girl that's ever talked to me, or knows me for that matter, has always thought I was ugly or a loser or whatever. They were like, ew, you're ugly, I don't want to talk to you or whatever, because no girl really likes me. Even if they never even met me, I'm sure they can find some way to insult me because it's happened before. And you know, I've had my heart broken. Well, technically, I've had my feelings hurt from time to time, so I was used to it. I wasn't sure what she would say, so I just said sure, and you know, she smiled, and I smiled too. But she's different. She likes me for who I am and not for my looks or money or any other reason to date besides the person themselves, to actually be with the person, which is good because that's how I think relationships should be had, you know, one another, for the reasoning of actually, you know, being together, not for any value of money or pleasure, but just to be with one another. So I said sure, she's pretty, and from there they were like, you two should date. I mean, you guys are going to the same high school together, and Ari ended up hooking up too, because the woman, or basically there was another girl at that table too, that was going to the same high school as him, as I'm going the same high school with her. And they were like, hey, you and Cody and you and Katrina are going to the same high school together. Maybe you guys should hook up, because we seem to have a little bit in common together. And I didn't really know what to say, really, because my picturing of my first girlfriend, I thought it was going to be something big, like it was going to be all nerve-wracking, I was going to be sweating, and I was going to be like in a tux or something, being like, would you go out with me? And if she said yes, all of a sudden balloons and freaking a parade would come up, and it would be all like my heart would just explode with happiness, and it'd be this big thing, and then we hug and then kiss, and it was going to be like something to remember forever. But no, it basically how we came about, ended up, you know, actually dating. We were kind of forced into it, because I basically said, sure, she's pretty. They were like, hey, you two should start dating, you know, you're going to the same high school, it makes sense. And I figured, since we both thought, since we haven't, you know, dated anyone prior to high school, maybe it was a good idea to start. We didn't really, neither one of us really asked one another out. It kind of just happened. I can't really explain it, really. I just can't. It's kind of mind-blowing to me now, even, and probably for the rest of my life, how it even happened. And we just start off with small talk. They asked if I found her pretty. I said sure. They said, hey, you two are going to the same high school together, and you should hook up. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, okay, yeah, sure. And yeah, this happened. And then once I left the restaurant, that night, I thought to myself, did that really happen? Do I have a girlfriend now? And I went on, I wouldn't really call it my first date with her, but we really, for the first time since we started dating, hung out. Well, yeah, I'm basically going to call it a date. We had our first date yesterday, and apparently she felt the same way after the restaurant. We both thought, when we got on the bus to go off to the next thing we had to do for the DC trip, did that really just happen? What just happened in there? Do I have a girlfriend now? And she was like, do I have a boyfriend now? Like, what just happened? Like, it was just, whoa. And then by the time we got to the next thing on our trip, which was a night tour, we met up at the Lincoln Memorial at night, which was okay, I guess. It wasn't extravagant, in my opinion, but when we saw each other next that night, she asked me, is this for real? Should we actually start dating? I'm like, yeah, why not? And she was, so basically she was like, should we actually do this? And I'm like, yeah, this should yeah, is this actually happening? And I agreed, because I figured she's an attractive woman. We have some things in common. She's not like any other girl who would just insult me and hurt my feelings. Happened from there. And from there on, I've been dating her since. It was an amazing thing. We had our laughs at the restaurant, you know, we talked, we laughed. And then it just happened. And later that night we confirmed it at the Lincoln Memorial that night. And I was still unsure whether or not that happened after we confirmed it, but, you know, after meeting up a couple more times during the course of the DC trip, I realized it was for real, and I was getting happier and happier. And yesterday, June 11th, 2012, I figured since we were forced into this relationship, we barely knew each other, like, up until that moment at the restaurant. The most we knew about each other were our names, so we were acquaintances together up until that. And we figured since we didn't really, you know each other at all yesterday, I figured since we just got out of middle school yesterday, we graduated 8th grade yesterday, going off to high school, it's the summer. Officially, first day of summer today, June 12th. I figured, you know, if we're actually, you know, dating now, we should, you know, meet up. And things were awkward up until now. Like, every time we met, we didn't really talk to each other. And then when we had to leave, we hugged and left. It was kind of awkward. Really, it was. We thought about each other. We said we loved. Through text the next day, June 9th. I said I loved her basically, and she said I love you too, and I don't care what anyone thinks about you. You're perfect for me, and I feel the same way because ever since we started dating, whenever someone found out that we're dating one another, they always laughed at us because, you know, whatever, you know, I guess it was meant to be that night at the restaurant. And if people can't see that we're happy, we don't care, because as long as we're happy, that's all that matters. And sure, whenever someone finds out that I'm dating Katrina, they laugh at me, and I'm sure when Katrina gets asked if she's actually dating me, they laugh at her because of me being me and her being her. But we're good for each other, and since yesterday, on our first official date, I guess, well, not official, but our first date, we went to a park together and just talked, got to know each other, and now we're getting new opportunities to be with each other, and it's turning into something better. We're taking things a little slow, but not too slow, and it's going good. I love her, and she's an amazing woman, and that's really how it all started. And this could be the beginning of something big, something new. I don't even know where things could go from now. I'm just gonna keep in contact with her and hope things turn out for the best. And Katrina, if you're watching this, I love you. I really do. She's awesome. So that's how it all happened. Katrina and me. First girlfriend, June 8th, 2012. Thanks for watching.